This production captures remarks from adult education state directors across the country who have been involved with the implementation of career pathways. Sustaining career pathways in a dynamic policy time in a highly restricted budget environment is a huge challenge. These leaders share their experiences in how to approach sustainability at the onset of planning and throughout the lifespan of implementation.
I'm John Kerr. I'm the State ABE Director in Washington State, and I've been an educator in Washington for over 38 years. In Washington State, we realized we were in a situation that was like a perfect storm. We did not have enough individuals to fill the job openings in the state, and yet we had a huge number of students without certificates that would allow them to move into those positions. So we created what's become known as the IBEST model, or the Integrated Basic Education and Skills Training. And what that does is it puts a basic skills instructor in the same classroom with a career technical instructor, or now we also do it with a dev ed instructor or an academic instructor, to jointly provide both basic skills training and workforce training for the students. Those classes are team taught, so students are learning those career skills and academic skills at the same time as they're raising their basic skills.
My name is Jennifer Foster, and I'm from Illinois, and I work with the Illinois Community College Board as the Associate Vice President for Adult Education and Workforce Development. Well, there are a lot of career pathway initiatives that are going on in Illinois, and I work very closely with our career and technical education side, but specifically to adult education. There are lots of programs, as we've coined the term, as bridge programs within our state. And so our whole initiative as it relates to career pathways started with bridge programs and working with the Shifting Gears Initiative, which is a Midwest consortium of states that have worked together to look at low-income individuals and strategies to help those individuals get to the workforce. So we've been working with how do we contextualize bridge programs or contextualize basic skills instruction. How do we incorporate career awareness in the process, as well as provide some transition services to the students and helping them to make that connection to education.
I'm Jeff Gove. I'm the State Adult Basic and Literacy Education Director for the Ohio Board of Regents. Ohio's work in career pathways began in earnest approximately 4.5 years ago with adult basic and literacy education and the adult workforce education systems coming over to the Ohio Board of Regents from the Department of Education. There had been career pathway vocabulary and rhetoric for many years in the state of Ohio, trying to articulate secondary and post-secondary kinds of relationships. But there was really nothing systemic or formal at the policy level until approximately 4.5 years ago in and around adult career pathways. Much of that was oriented to the strategic plan that the Ohio Board of Regents developed. This is going back to 2007, 2008, with the then Chancellor Eric Fingerhut. He developed a 10-year plan. Something that was explicit in that plan for the state of Ohio and post-secondary education was the concept of adult career pathways. It positioned adult education and adult career technical education and then 2- and 4-year degree programs together, at least in a strategic plan. The challenge was to actually operationalize that at the ground level.
I am Beverly Smith. I'm the Assistant Commissioner for Adult Education for Georgia. We started working in career pathways with the grant. When JFF came out with the grant in 2011, we applied. At that point, it looked like a good thing to do in terms of innovation. We really needed to do something to bridge that gap between students getting their GED and moving on to career and college pathways. We realized at that point, and probably before that a GED was just a start, that there really wasn't anything you could do with it. But especially in Georgia, it's a key before you could do anything else. But getting them motivated and believing that they actually could do something beyond that and beyond the basics to actually go to college was probably where we were stuck. So when Accelerating Opportunity came along And it looked like a chance to really focus on getting those students motivated and getting them in a dual enrollment program, which Georgia already does for high school students. It seemed logical that we'd be able to get our adult ed students into career pathways so that they were also dually enrolled, and giving them a little bit of the extra push that they needed, providing the wraparound services that they need in terms of support, because they are students who life happened to, and so they have other weights and burdens that they're carrying that they need support with in order to do an education. It seemed like the right thing to do. So we started and began the initiative last year.
I'm Reese Stagnolia, Vice President for Kentucky Adult Education. Well, Kentucky is one of the states that has been funded through the Jobs for the Future Accelerating Opportunity Initiative. And so we are adopting career pathways through the implementation of that initiative. And we've been fortunate to have good partners to work with along the way, in working with our Kentucky Community and Technical College system, as well as our State Department for Workforce Investment as our key partners.
My name is Randy Whitfield. I'm the Associate Vice President of College and Career Readiness for the North Carolina Community College System. Our system office staff in North Carolina decided that we needed a career pathways program for our adult education or basic skills students. And so our community college system president went to the North Carolina General Assembly and talked about the importance of such a program and talked about the need for funding for a career pathways program. And what they decided to do is they passed in their 2010 budget bill a provision which gave local community colleges in North Carolina, and there are 58 of those, the ability to use up to 20% of their state literacy funds to provide a career pathways program which is entitled Basic Skills Plus. And with this provision, local community colleges can use their money to pay the salaries of occupational instructors who are working with our students. But the best part of all is that they were also given the ability to waive tuition for the curriculum courses.